Yellow. I think we're live. I think it's working. Have chat there. Minimize bucket chat. Cool. Great. Go edit the make file here. While we're waiting on. And Torah. I don't know what that is. I mean, I'll install make files. What are the make file tools? Okay. Okay, anyway, close that. Configuring project, dry run mode. Do you want to continue? No. I don't know what that means, so I'll look at that later. Nah, I could, but didn't Lens already have a Lens plays games Korth? I don't need to steal Korth from Lens. I'm already doing a compiler series. I'm just going to call it Porth. So I'm not changing the language at all. So I'm just making it like C Python. It's just a Python implementation in C. So C Porth is a Porth implementation in C. That's the goal, at least. I'm not going to make it anything complicated. Porth is a very simple language. And I'm using the actual self-hosted Porth compiler as a reference to make sure I'm doing shit correctly. Flashbang, sorry. Okay, so let me make this bigger, make this bigger. So now everything should be a touch more readable. Also, hi Caitlin, how you doing? So I wanted this to say C2X instead because that's what GCC expects if anybody changes the compiler. Linker flags, if necessary, also need to contain sanitize address because I forgot that. We're not linking against anything else right now. We're compiling straight from source, but I'll probably change this to compile from object files eventually, so I just want to include that before I forget about it. New 3D printer tomorrow. Ooh. That sounds fun. I need to clean off my desk. I have no room for activities. Hydration will have to suffice. So far, let's go ahead and get a make and Porth. See, old one broke my attempts. Fix it, didn't succeed. I wouldn't even know how to fix one. So at least you attempted. We've got it. There you go. We've got it reading in test.porth by default with no arguments here. And it prints out some instructions. So test.porth looks like that. Beautiful. It technically lexes complicated programs already, everything except for string literals. Less fucked right now, but just want to be able to print things again. Yeah, 2 printers is better than 1. This is true. You can print twice as fast now. So I don't think I have string support, but as soon as I said, oh, it lexes things correctly, that made me think, did I lex strings and just not remember? No, I assert false on string literals. So I could go ahead and get that implemented. 2.5 times faster then. Ooh. String literals. So what are the rules for Porth literals? Token stir. By the way, for anybody watching who does not know what Porth is a language, byte-coding, that is a stack-based, vaguely Porth language that he did a long compiler series on his channel. You can see some examples if you go to, this is on coding/Porth on GitLab. Porth.porth is the self-hosted version, and we're going to be using this version. Actually, I should just, like, where's raw? I can copy file contents, that'll work. Let me do a new file and call it Porth, for example, because I have a Porth mode. It'll be easier to read with Porth mode enabled. And let's go see if he has a license. to attach to it, not readme license, copy contents, and then just KC. There you go. Shall be copies in all substance babdibap. Exactly that. So there's our copy of the Porth compiler that we can use to start testing features in the future and eventually self-host with his version of the compiler. Depending on how far this project actually goes, I might rewrite the self-hosted implementation, but I don't intend for it to go that far unless I really start enjoying it. So that'll be the thing that we can start working with. So if, before we do anything else, let me just support passing in a file through argv and argc. I am not using knob in this one. I wanted to keep it incredibly simple, and so I just threw a makefile in here. We might switch to knob eventually, but that means I don't have shift. So we need to implement shift as static pointer, const car pointer args shift int c r star v. We want to then say car result is argv sub current whatever 0. Return result, and we want to argc plus plus argv minus minus. And we're going to assert, I don't have an assert right now, I do have an assert. Assert argc is not equal to null. Assert argv is not equal to null. Argv is not equal to null. And assert for the time being that argc is greater than 0. Okay, those are the asserts. There's the implementation. So now we can say const car. We need the program name first. So program name is args shift argc argv, like that. And then we can say we want to be able to parse the arguments and do something with them. Shouldn't it be argc is greater than 0? Well, it's a pointer. So star argc to dereference the pointer. Type def struct porth c args. Thought it was argv star argc. My bad, no problem. Okay. So I'm going to put the program name in here for potential help dialog. I'll also throw in a bool for help and a bool for version. I've already got bool defined up here, so we're not going to get errors from the shitty not updated version of the extension. But I shouldn't need to include standard bool because we're compiling with actually on that note, let me go grab the compile commands here. I need to go into radial and grab clang format and compile commands because I want to include those in here as well. My compile flags, I don't need an include directory. I'll do everything else here. And I don't actually think any of these, or like some of these rather, are in my makefile at the moment. So let me just do this down here actually. So I've got 2x, pedantic errors, sanitize address I put at the end, that's fine. GDB I put after sanitize errors. So then I have errors return type, but I've written, oh, that's wrong, that's why. So I turned on error all, and that's the only difference, and extra. All and extra, and I replaced return type with that. That's probably worth doing, honestly. Let me try that out and see if it gets to be incredibly annoying or not. And then just make and run it again. There's a bunch of errors. So comparison of integers of different signs. I mean, those are good errors. Incompatible pointer type. That should be const question mark? Because we're returning it. Then result is argv of 0. Oh, I need to dereference argv. That's a good catch, compiler. Thank you. Then program name is argshift. It's returning a const car. Wait a second. Unused. Oh, I need to turn off unused variables probably. So let's do How do I put it back to being an error? So I've turned on all and extra, but if I just do like W unused whatever, it's already set to be an error. Unused variable. So if I do that, that's not going to change anything because it's already an error. How do I unerror it? No error equals? I can go look it up, but hey, it's back to, okay, so that does do it. No error equals that. Comparison of integers of different signs, though, I do want. So that's in main C 101. Way down here. File length is an int64. fread is a size t. So int 64t. Then state is an unused parameter. So we also want to get rid of unused parameters. No unused parameter. And just for consistency, throw that in compile flags. I don't think it actually does anything significant to what we're looking at here. Now we've got a leak in somewhere. Ooh, we have a leak. Arena create. Use parameter state in Porth compiling too. It's fine. So Porth arena create in main 35. That is a good point. I read that and thought about it, and I did it, and then I decided against it because my brain shortcutted past it. Okay, so we have an arena that we've allocated here. This arena should be freed down here. But, oh, unused parameter is separate. Well, never mind then. It's still an error, so I guess it has to also be unused parameter separately. Question mark? Why? That's what it says to me. That's what my brain says. Because this one got caught by it, it's not an error. This one did not. So we'll just reintroduce it for now. No harm. And compile flags. Boom. So we're back to our leak. Our leak is in arena create. So main 35. So that's the thing we're looking at here. But arena destroy should catch this problem. And before we started making changes, there was no like leak going on. So specifically, it's calloc at 97. So in porth.c 97, it's just arena create. It's failing to destroy it. Oh, I'm just not freeing the arena. Simple as that. How does that do it? Cool. So we're back to this with 2 unused. That's fine. So let's go do some very high level argument parsing so I can start passing in files like porth.porth. So porth.c args, we're going to say args is 0, and then porth.c parse args. Unused parameter is not in the unused group for whatever reason, but all the other unused warnings are. I wonder if that's just historical baggage or if somebody fucked up and nobody ever noticed. Args, and if not this, then return 1. So we're going to have porth parse args be a bool porth.c args. Args. This one we will define way the hell down here. Matches GCC's behavior, so yeah, probably historic for shits and giggles. Porth.c args pointer. There. So instead of doing this, we can say args program name is this. So I, of course, need to include argc and argv. Boom, argc argv. Boom, argc argv. So we don't need a reference to either. Nothing's going to change here. So too few arguments to function call. We need to way the fuck back up here. See argv. And then while argc is greater than 0, we need to const car option is args if argc argv, and if stir compare option to we included help in version, so let's say help, then args help is true, and we'll do a nice else there for another case. We now want else if we'll throw in version. Did I do version? I did version. I should also probably do a verbose, even though I don't have a logger in place for that. I guess I do. I have diagnostics. Handle a couple of things because why not? Okay, so then in this case, we want an array of input files to compile. Now, question. This just compiles straight to object files, right? Or I guess straight to an executable. So I know he does assembly, and then we'll probably need to get FASM at some point. I don't know if I've got it on this machine also. Don't have FASM, no. We'll figure that out in a second. To do, find FASM. We don't need it until we start actually compiling to assembly. So Tom goes to compile, and it runs an actual program. So if we give it multiple Porth programs, they should probably just be expected to, well, good idea. Have a good night. Thank for luck. If I'm matching the original behavior of Porth, then I don't know if it's supported to have more than one source file, because there's no concept of a declaration in Porth. Right. If we're looking at standard Porth here, the first thing this does is include standard.porth, which I should also probably grab. But standard.porth has a bunch of inline procedures, sure. But it's got non-inline procedures as well, and these aren't declared anywhere. So unless we do a system for not actually copying these verbatim, I don't think we can have multiple input source files. So for the time being, we're only going to support a single input source file. So const car input file, like that. So then we can say input file is option if args input file not equal to null, then we can just return false straight out. We'll fprintf standard error a thing, and the thing we're going to do is, how do I make it red? X1b this one that is probably red. Error. And then X1b 0 to reset it. I'll go take a look at the codes in a second. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Sodi necessarily thought that far. Yeah, the include directive is like a C include directive, but since there's no declarations, it means you're including C files, not H files, right? Which I'm fine with doing. I have no problem with that. It just means I needed to check that before I accidentally did an oopsie, you know. Error. Let's actually put the colon after this if we can. Multiple input source files are not supported. New line. I should probably provide context on where that's happening. What's a good way to phrase that? invalid option this mod s option. If this is intended to be a source file, multiple input source files are not. Cool. That's good enough for me. So then I could say like make and cporth and foo bar. Non-void function does not return. I need to return true. Return true. So, okay, so it didn't like what I did here. That's fine. Let me go into not this one. Let's cat Laye include ANSI. Interesting. I don't have an include. Is it all just in lib? What the heck? Oh, because it's in stage 1 now. Stage 1 include ANSI.8. Cool. So, okay, so red is 31M, not 1M. 31M, and I forgot the M. 31M, and I don't need a semicolon, I don't know why I thought. And then to get reset was 0? Reset is 0. Okay. Good to know, good to know. Thank you, thank you. 1 is bold. Cool, there's error again. So I could even do 1 to get bold here. Bold first. I got a bold red, which changes the color. Blah, 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 blah. Ooh. Okay. I should probably put those as constants again, because I'm going to use them in diagnostic rendering. So I can just, actually, since I've catted those, I can grab all of my defines and just put them at the top of porth.h somewhere. Here. And then I can just, everything I just did, just don't do it anymore. So ANSI bold and ANSI red. Then ANSI reset. And that should do exactly the same thing. Bold red. Oh, well, too late now. Doing this. Okay. So now we should be able to attempt to read file from here instead. So we can, instead of doing this, read file from args dot input fine. And then what we can do at the end here also is say, if apparently you have bright red for that. Bright red is 31.1, right? Some terminals render 1 as a brighter color instead of bold. Yes, but it's also bold too. It is bolder than this text. It's doing two things. It's making it bold and changing the color. Because like you can see that it supports bold. These are definitely different as well. So I could try bright red and see if it goes back. Oh, well, I didn't finish args input file. I was doing that at the bottom, that's right. If args input file is equal to null, I'll do that in just a second. Yeah, that didn't change anything. Yeah, I think it's just switching to bright red for bold. So if I do bright red without bold, it's that color and it's bold. So yes, bold and or bright is just doing the exact same thing, it looks like. I'll be pedantic and do exactly what I want. I want a bold regular red, but it's not what I'm getting. Anyway, here we return false, and we're going to grab this, and we're going to say error, at least, missing input source file. Missing input source file. Or not missing, but no input source file provided. Invalid option, Porth C, if this is intended to be a source file. What? Huh? But oh, so I need to fucking and then it's this. I always forget. Okay. Unknown address. Woo! Unknown address, 0 page, somewhere in main, 35 parsars 130. Oh, so I went the wrong direction. This one's minus minus, this one's plus plus. Boom. No input source file provided. Boom. Cool. So then I can do test Porth, and it'll work. Then I can do Porth, and it'll crash on something. Unhandled token kind in Porth compile include. Okay. Creating the curse 0 is equal to X thing. Some people do. You accidentally read X. Yeah, the Yoda notation. I'm just very used to doing it like that. Because, I mean, it's less because of the equals thing, and more because I write really wide code. So if my code is like this wide, and then I say equals 0 at the end, I don't know what the condition actually is. So just because of my coding style, on top of knowing that it's called Yoda notation, I do this. I know exactly what I'm doing right from the start, instead of having a 50-character long function name obscure that. Yoda notation. I don't know if it's called notation, but like Yoda. Yoda comparison, technically? I don't know. Yoda something. Yoda conditions. To Yoda or not to Yoda. This. Called a couple of different things, it looks like. But Yoda conditions. Yoda notation. It is Yoda notation. Look at that. I mean, make it bigger. Yoda notation. Ta-da. Okay, so now we've got input source files. And I'm compiling as I'm parsing, of course. So we're hitting the include keyword and immediately not doing anything. So this is not actually a good time to run porth.porth. But I can run test.porth and we can try including something. I can't include standard.porth either because I need a folder for standard. Let's go ahead and copy over standard.porth as well. I wish I could copy the whole directory really easily without just nothing. So if I copy the contents of standard porth, go all the way up to the top and grab my porth.porth license that I didn't steal the license. The license is meant to be here. So there's standard.porth. Then for.porth, I just want to have porth, Linux porth, and yes, I'll keep this one for consistency. Did I get that correct? Term iOS, boom, porth. Okay, then go grab this, here. And da 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 da. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I have access to all of the canonical Porth stuff. So now we want to go back to test.porth and I'm going to try to get this interpreting first and type checking. So I have the infrastructure set up for that. We're already kind of doing it. Also, I have no idea how I don't look terrible in the dark light, but I should probably get over here and turn the lights on. That would almost certainly show better on camera. Oh my god, I'm gonna drop stuff. Lights. So in the compilation stage, we're compiling into something. What do I have here? The backpatch and type stack, which are both 0 initialized. So we don't have anything to backpatch. We do have a type stack though. So whenever we hit int, we're pushing an instruction, sure. But I also need to push a type. So porth vector push into program, not program, state, type stack, the value of porth type int, like that. Every time we hit an integer, we do this. So there's our type checking state as well. So whenever we hit an intrinsic, we're going to push the intrinsic itself. Now, whenever we do this, though, we need to do type checking still. So we can push it. All of them are going to do something, but we need to switch on the intrinsic. And what we need to do is throw an error for that case. Then we want to hit porth intrinsic, porth intrinsic add plus, porth intrinsic plus. When we go to add stuff, we're expecting 2 integers on the stack. So how am I going to... I think we just want a function like expect type stack, which will pop the things that you give it. So like, let's say, what is this? The actual lexer. That's fine. So static void porth expect stack. I want a better name than that, but for right now, let's see if this does what I want it to do. We're going to take a compile state and we want it to take some number of things. So we could just make it like a 1 or a 2. So if I say compile stack 1, it'll expect 1 thing. So that's fine. We want to say this takes a porth data type. We have access to the type stack. We want to then say if type stack item, not items, but count is less than 1, which just means 0. If it's less than 1, we return and we do an error. It will only pop up to the number of things required. So we don't have cascading errors. So we're just going to say, in this case, that will do an error. I don't know how I'm doing diagnostics at the moment, actually, if I'm doing them at all. I know they exist. but I'm not putting diagnostics in tokens yet, so we might have to do something here. Porth diagnostic exists there. We're pushing them into a Porth diagnostics, which is in Porth program. Instructions, memories, global constants. So when I say Porth compile, we're getting a Porth program back. The Porth program should probably contain all of its diagnostics. That's, I think, where we want that. So then the compilation state might even want to have the program in it. So I don't have to pass it around all the time. Porth program. That. So then way the fuck down here, we don't pass the program. We're just gonna say Porth program state program. Okay, so then down here we compile into state whose program is program. That. Then we now have access to state program diagnostics. So we can Porth vector push into diagnostics an element. That element will be, say, then Porth diagnostic error is an error. What we want is a kind equal to Porth error. This will be a regular ass error. The location will be the current location of the parser, which we haven't advanced past yet, technically. So this should be fine to just, we need the access to the parser. So I could pass in the location for now. And figure out if I want to pass in the parser after the fact. Message is, I don't think I have an sprintf that I like. No. So I might have to do a temp sprintf for good error messages. But for right now, the message is a string view, so it's in a constructor thing already. I can do this. So we want, string view from C-string is what we really want. We want to say, I'll have to factor this out a little bit. I've been lazy about my diagnostics for this one. So in this case, expected one data type on the stack, but found expected at least one data type on the stack, but found. Instead of found none, I would love to sprintf the number that we found on the stack for the program. But we're just going to do that for now. So then in this case, for int I equals 0, I is less than 1, I plus plus, if I is less than 1 and state type stack count is greater than 0, Porth vector pop state type stack. Okay. So that should expect something. And then we'll push the new type back on. So when we hit plus, we want to expect. We're going to expect 2, not 1. So let's just go ahead and before I forget, fucking do that. I should I need to also check what they are. So pop doesn't return anything. It does return something. So I can say Porth data type stack type equals this. Now, problem in that I don't have an index here. So maybe what I should do is not make this like this for this one and say, do I have an easy way to, I guess I do on the stack. I can do it on the stack. So if I say this and I say data types and then I say, then instead of 1, then I have not enough values on the stack. You do want to have Tempest. Something like that. So then for I is less than count, we're then going to go from, so we can say stack type is this, Porth data type expected type is data types sub count minus I minus 1. If stack type is not equal to expected type, then now I really need the sprintf because I'm going to put the type stack information in a message. So let's just go do that. Cert plus and un. That'll be an error. So let's just go somewhere into porth.h. We have vector ensure capacity, we have string view stuff here. I'm gonna say a regular ass const char pointer, but I don't have a good temp. So I could make it a string, but then I may as well just not do temp as printf into a string, but I could. Yeah, let's, so I have a string type up here. I have a string view, and then a string builder is just a vector of char. My problem with doing this in a diagnostic message is freeing all the diagnostic messages. So I do want the concept of a temp allocator that automatically gets freed. So we're probably going to introduce here a temp allocator. So we're going to say porth string view porth temp s printf const char format ... which will then have its mirror in vs printf, just in case I need it. A list means I need to include standard arg. Okay, which then means we want void porth temp init, temp alloc init, and porth reset, and then void star porth temp alloc. That's fine. Then we're going to alloc int 64 count and go into porth.c right below arena destroy. We're going to have a couple things. We're going to have an arena allocator. So static probably. I forget if static is necessary. So we're just going to say porth arena. Temp arena. Then go down here to wherever the hell we're expecting to implement it, which is probably just here, and say if arena temp arena equal to null, then porth temp reset. If you try to no, let's just assert false. Cannot re-init temp allocator. Then we're going to return arena alloc push arena push temp arena count. And here we want to do this. Okay, and then I guess if I hit reset, if temp arena is null, turn straight up. And then we want to go through, I could just do a destroy, or we can do our wipe. I don't think I actually have an API for arena reset. So reset Porth arena should do something. Instead of freeing everything, we need to go through and just set its, so arena, I have a thing in here called block index, which should be 0. Arena, no, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to do to reset the thing. So instead of calling it reset here, I am going to say temp destroy, because that is what we're doing. We do want to destroy. Porth arena destroy temp arena Okay, so then all the way down here in main, the last thing we're going to do is porth temp destroy. And all the way, the very first thing we're going to do is porth temp. So now I can come over here and grab my printf implementations. Make them in the first place. This VA list should have a name, which it does not currently. So here, VA list VA start format, VA end V, return, not return, Porth string view result, Porth temp VS printf format, V return results. So then here we want VA list V2, VA copy V2, and from VA end V2, int count is VSN printf, VSN printf, null 0, format V2. Then I need to temp alloc. So this is going to be car data is temp push, temp alloc, int 64t, which I'm going to just do here instead. Count. This one needs to be +1. Then we're going to say data, so count is 0, somewhere in there. And then I'm going to also do VSN printf data. Count is a size t. Format regular v. Return Porth string view. Dot data is data. Dot length is that. If I should just do this the way I want to do it in the first place. Format, cool. So now we have a temp-s printf we can use. So now, even better, we can come way the hell down here to where we have these things. And instead of this, we can say porth temp-s printf, which is going to take this, and we can say expected LD values on the stack, but only found. So then I want to say we expected, which is a regular D, and we got this count. So that's better. Then down here, we're going to do a very similar thing. We're going to push an error for expected I should really probably. Let's just say bool. I'll refactor this if I need to. Let's say correct is false. If it's not correct, just correct is through here. And correct is false. Break. If not correct, then report that all of them are wrong. Because reporting that the nth item of the stack is wrong would just look bad. So now I have a new problem. I need to use my string builder for the first time. So Porth string builder. Porth string builder builder. We're going to say, I don't have a builder append. I do have a dynamic array append, but I need a builder append. So we're going to go add some more things to the Porth API. This temp stuff really should probably go right there. Then string builder can go here. Void Porth string builder append straight up C string. So Porth string builder builder and const char C string, as well as Porth string view, Porth string builder as view. Be consistent with that one. Okay, so string view equals as this. And then also we have our temp as printf stuff, which is now going to live below this. I just want to keep that relatively consistent. So now we've got string builder append. We're going to say Porth the vector ensure capacity of, I probably shouldn't be using this API, but void star of builder items. The element size is size of builder items. The capacity that we want is builder capacity. That's the capacity we have. And the minimum capacity we want is builder count plus size t, the string length is, well, let's make it an int64. C string length is int64 t of strlen, C string plus C string length plus 1, because we're going to implicitly null terminate every string builder. So that it means now we want to say builder capacity is this. That's what it returns, is the new capacity. There's the internal API for this implementation of a vector. I re-implement a vector all the fucking time. Maybe I should stop doing that. But then I want to say for int for t I equals 0, I is less than C string length, I plus plus. We're then going to say builder items sub I plus builder count in 64t original count, just so I don't have to pre-compute or continue to compute stuff. I plus the original count is C string, or you know what? I'm just re-implementing mem copy. Mem cpy into builder items C string. Builder items needs to be builder items plus builder count C string and C string length. And we'll copy in one more than that. We've allocated extra space for the null terminator, which exists here as well. So that is append C string. So we have string as view, and we have the ability to free a thing. String as view, we are going to copy. So our const char data is going to be Porth temp alloc. We're going to temp alloc builder count plus 1. We're going to mem copy into data from builder items builder count. plus 1 to include the null terminator. And then we're going to return Porth string view. I said view, I thought I typed view, and then it showed up as not view, so I'm delusional. Data is data, dot length is builder count. Hello. How are you, Anirud? Anirud, it's very tiny. Anirud. We're going to start with Anirud until you correct me. How are you? Zoom into chat, because I always forget to do. There we go. So now we've got a builder as view, and we can destroy things. I will destroy you and steal your fiancé. College freshman from India. You are good. That sounds fun. What are you doing in college, especially if not computer science? Porth string view message is going to be builder as view builder, and we're going to builder destroy vector destroy builder. And then in here we can do append. We don't have an append format, but we can append as printf. So that's good enough for me. Which involves extra temp allocations, but it's going to do that regardless. So Porth string builder append. Then we can append the sprintf as necessary. Math is fun. I like math. So we want to build it this way. Let's append something. Let's start with append builder something. Expected the stack to contain values of type. I'll note it with parentheses. So I don't need to fprint n. I do not need to sprintf this part. But then we can say but found this. So this will be the format that we're going for. And I could also, actually, I could just put sprintf this part, actually. Hold on. Porth sprintf this mod s but found this, right? And then I can fill this in with something that I've built. So this part will become the message. This will be mod.s. And then over here, we're going to use the builder to build a thing, of course. So here, we want to, for int I equals 0, I is less than, count I plus plus. We want to grab in order the number, the kind of things on the stack. So data type to C string is already a thing. We're going to grab data type to C string from, so we expected it to contain data types sub I. So we're going to builder append this. If I is greater than 0, we're also going to append space. Builder space, or a comma maybe. And then this. So then, instead of this being message, this is going to be expected types. And then we destroy. Hello, no clue what you're doing, but just be chilling to support. That's okay. We are, for anybody who's new, working on a compiler for the Porth programming language, mostly because I just felt like doing it. It's by Tsoding, if you've ever seen him. Fantastic streamer, YouTube content creator, very good programmer. Good fun to watch. A few years ago, he made a very long series on this Porth programming language, which is a stack-based language very loosely inspired by Porth. And over the weekend, I just had a strong urge to write a second, another version of this compiler for myself in C. And we're going to try to match the spec exactly. It's not a new language. I am actually programming against his original spec. And that's about it. That's what we're doing. So here, vector destroy is going to free the list of items. And it's going to do this stuff. But really all I have to do is reset. So in this case, I'm just going to say vcount is 0. Okay. And then I am going to implement one more string builder function. Somewhere down here, string builder, void porth string builder reset, porth string builder builder. The only reason I'm introducing this one extra wrapper is because I want to maintain a null terminator at all times. But even if we call reset, porth vector reset builder, I want to zero out the memory anyway. So then I can say mem set builder items to 0 for builder capacity. That's all I want to do. Ensure that it's always null terminated so I don't have to do extra work on the data. The easiest way to do that is to zero all of the memory. So now we can come back one more time, and I have expected types here. This one is going to be reset. And then here, I want to, instead of grabbing from data type sub I want to grab from the type stack. So state type stack. And I want to grab from the type stack I type stack count minus I minus 1. Then I've got this list of diagnostics. Then we're good. And that's all I do. So down here, when we're on intrinsic plus, we want porth expect stack with the state, a location. The location is going to be the current token because we haven't skipped past it yet. So parser token location. The data types is going to be data types. I'm just going to call it this. It's going to be porth data types 2. We're just going to say 2. We're going to call it expected. And this is going to be porth int data type twice. So first things first, we do that. Then we've pushed the instruction already, that's fine. And we want to push porth stack vector push the state type stack, another int, like that. Reference to this, like that. So all of my things are in the wrong spot. We have a couple things to fix. Data is const here, so porth 94. This is not correct. Then 43, no, that's fine. Porth arena reset, redefinition of porth arena reset. Previous definition is 125. Oh, I needed to make it, arena reset is here, but it's also there. Because this is supposed to be, I had an arena reset, and I just didn't see it. It's right there. I'm going to put reset here. Destroy. So if I go into init, we never implemented reset then. Porth arena reset. That. And then expected types, redefinition of expected types. It's not expected types. And I didn't even do the printf part. So that's on 638. So this is now found types. So then here we have this. We're going to say int expected types length expected types data. And this is found types. Porth compile into undefined reference to Porth intrinsic to C string. Really? Yep. Bad copy and replace. Okay, so that's 422 as well. Then intrinsic to C string still. That's another reason why. Boom. Okay, for intrinsic print, assertion false and unimplemented intrinsic. Okay, so we've done plus. Base Porth intrinsic print. Now, I don't remember the semantics of print. I just actually read the name of who the last person who chatted. That's one of my siblings, and I didn't even say, "Oh, hi, bro, how you doing?" Oops. Okay, so print. What are the semantics of print? If I go find intrinsic print, well, where is it there? Did not go very far. Down here, question mark. No. Where is it? Type context, expect arity. It needs exactly one thing. Yeah, it's expecting arity, but it's not expecting any type. I assume it's taking in int, but I don't know for sure. This is definitely the type check version, right? That's the compile version. Intrinsic by name, yep. And then intrinsic name itself. So there's a lot going on here. Context type stack, minor plus over. Expect arity. Yeah, I'm expecting the arity, sure. I should probably expect arity and also expect types separately. Because swap, for example, doesn't give a shit what types are going on. So let's change the name of this to expect types. And then I can do just expect arity. And expect arity is just going to do this first part. And then we can just make a call to this. So then here we can say expect arity, state location count. And now they're two separate functions. So for plus, we do want them to be ints. I'm pretty sure that's a thing. But for print, expect arity, state, Porth token location, and one. Just an arity of one, not Porth parser. That. Not what I wanted to do. Fine. Yeah, it's just expecting an arity of one, and it's type checking the stack. And it's notably removing one thing from the stack. So expect arity should remove things from the stack as well. So I shouldn't be able to call it here. And this is break, which we don't actually want to do either. Pop everything from the stack. So we should just copy this into here. Count. And here, we should do exactly what we've done here without assigning it anything. Like that. So then I is less than count should really be I is less than count and it's less than state type stack, both of the above. These are the same sign, they convert to each other, that should be fine. This, that. So I think I'm still missing one thing because I kind of got sidetracked in doing that error. Leak sanitizer is mad at me. Hey, it type checked. That's good. But we leaked memory from compile into on 711, which is here. Vector push. Okay, so we're not freeing the type stack when we're done. So down here, compilation state needs freed. We're going to Porth vector free destroy state dot type stack and back patch stack, and we don't do anything with program, just return program. There we go. So we have a type checked Porth program for the handful of things we've technically type checked. If I come into test Porth and remove 35, I would expect not that. I didn't. Why did nobody tell me I didn't init the goddamn arena? The block size is going to be 16 times 1024 times 1024. And you know, it's a temp thing. I'm actually just going to make it 16, not 16 meg. 16 meg's a lot. Okay, new memory leak. Temp arena is being destroyed. So, vect types 629 into ensure capacity. 629 here into diagnostics. Oh. Do I have a program destroy? Program destroy needs to destroy a few things. Diagnostics as well. We have diagnostics, we want procedures, we want instructions, we want global memory, and constants. Like that. Okay, so this did not fail the type check like it should have. Well, that is quite not what I wanted. Oh, it's not going to do anything. I mean, it exited, but it didn't say like, oh man, you're not passing me a thing. Launch. Arguments needs to be test Porth. Okay. So we're expecting 2. Current count is 1. So you know what I didn't do? I didn't report the errors. So got a handful of things to do here then. What I need to do is wrap around this first, as well as create a thing to print the errors. So diagnostics are up here, right at the top, very tippity top. So let's do it right here. And we can say void Porth diagnostic push into Laye and not Laye, Porth diagnostics Porth diagnostic. Easy. And then we can say void Porth diagnostics report. Like that. So, right, and the reason I want to do is because I've got an error count here. So below VS printf, but right here, we're going to do some reporting. We're also going to do some adding. So this one is Porth vector push diagnostics diagnostic. Simple as. But if diagnostic kind is greater than or equal to Porth error, then diagnostics error count plus. Then from here, we want to say for int I equals 0, I is less than diagnostics count. We can grab a diagnostic off of them. Like that. Then we can do some fprintfing to standard error with a thing. Somewhere in here, we're going to want a color, which I'm going to do as mod s. We'll want to reset the color, and we'll want the name of the thing, reset the color, colon. I'm actually going to do bold, color, name, reset, bold. Like that. And then message. Format. So I need to get const car color is nothing. And I also need to get the message. So let's do not the message, the name. Level is this. So then I can say first up is NC bold color level NC resets NC bold. Then, so that's 5. Then I want int of diagnostic message length and diagnostic message data. That's it. Now, I'm not including line and column information just yet, like I probably should. So let's do mod LD to get not line and column, but just I think we want this right here. And then this will be diagnostic location dot offset, which is yep, LD. And I also need the file name, which is mod.star.s. Here, colon space thing. So after bold, int diagnostic location source full name length and data. Like that. I think that's our message. So temporarily, once we come over here, we have program. If program diagnostics dot error count is greater than 0, and exit code is 1 regardless. Then Porth diagnostics report program diagnostics and also dump the instructions. Ref2. Okay. Now everything's bold because I forgot to unbold it. So I want one final mod S to do a color reset one more time. Cool. So there's the thing we haven't set to a color yet, and there's the index in the file. I expected 2 values in the stack, but only found 1. Also, so let's just go ahead and do this first. Switch diagnostic kind default. Okay, case porth trace. We're gonna say color is ANSI gray. We don't have gray, it's bright black, right? Which is going to end up being bold. I don't really want to use bright colors. So if I say ANSI white, is that going to be the bright white? Because the brighter white would be bold white. Let's just look at what ANSI colors we have. ANSI, I could do all sorts of custom colors too, I understand that, but color, that's not the API I have access to right now, and I don't want to write a new one. ANSI color, we have black, blue, cyan. I can just do blue. I kind of want it to be, I'm gonna leave it at white actually, because I kind of want it, if it's a trace level, it doesn't matter. Level, trace. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have trace debug. Debug is going to be green. Info going to be cyan. Warning going to be magenta. Error is going to be red. And fatal is going to be yellow. I guess I could do yellow here if fatal is going to be something. Fatal can be magenta. So it still says trace there, because now I need to say debug, info, warning. I don't like it all caps, actually. Error. Cool. Interesting though, actually. If the arity is wrong, and we're expecting a set of types, I'm inclined to not report the arity check problem. Let me show what I mean. Here, I'm actually just inclined to not even check for arity, other than to say that correct is false, just in case. If I do that, that doesn't even work, so that's good. Oh, to make my life easier, let me do one more thing. Define a string porth sv expand sv. It's going to be int sv dot count and sv data. And I can say sv expand for string builder, and I'll do exactly the same thing, but with items. So then I can not fuck this up as much by saying porth sv expand found types. That's slightly more likely to be correct. It's length. Of course it is length. But now, when I did append, I didn't increase the count. That's what it was. Builder append. So builder, God, I gotta do builder count plus equals C string length. Okay, expected it to have int, but we found nothing, but it should say int. So let's double check that first. We know the stacks count was 1. So this just feels like it's wrong to me. Hold on. If I do reset, also needs to set builder 0, that might be another problem. Still empty, because we zeroed it, so it wouldn't have changed anything, but I guess it would have. If count is 0 here, and up here we're doing a capacity and count plus string length was 1, so that should be fine. Plus count, because count gets reset here. Oh, reset should have set the count to 0 as well. That's literally all reset does. So we did do that. It doesn't affect anything. Hmm. So this count is 0 because we popped them already, right? Yeah. So instead of popping here, we're going to just pop at the very end. I need to be able to calculate things. So then here, it's not pop, it's where am I grabbing it? I'm grabbing it here, this whole thing. Well, that's bad. Count minus I, this one. Then this is where we do want to break. We're not popping anymore. Well, that doesn't matter. Oh, because now this needs to be and I is less than this again. So, I mean, the break is not warranted, I guess, technically. Int, but found int. Beautiful, that's what I want. Okay. So, if I say git add standard and git add porth, we could say git commit with a message, add official porth self hosting files. And then I can get everything else. Get simple type checking for okay. So all of that is up on GitHub if anybody wants to go look at it. This one link is not in the description, but a link to my GitHub is. Anybody who wants to follow along, this is where we're doing it. It is public. We have pushed just now. It is as simple as type make once you've cloned it, and it will make. You can also make with GCC if you want to. There are apparently errors. Ooh. Because we have unused value here. So this doesn't work in GCC, Eternal. This doesn't match GCC behavior. What the heck? I'm gonna go back to what I was doing before. Make file unused variable. Glad I decided to show that. Not very unused value. Let's leave unused value. There we go. Now it's a warning though. So if I also if I said, like, hear me out, something stupid, like, I just, and there was a difference between MSVC if defined MSCver, is that what it is? And if like that. I forget if that's the macro, but we'll check later. Because then what I can do is just fix this anyway, and I can go to 681, which is right here, and I can say Porth discard, and also go to 736, which is right here. No such file or directory. Oh, because I don't have the address sanitizer on. You'll need lib asan or a way to disable it, which I haven't provided. Oops. But there you go. And then you just run Porth with whatever file you want. And there it is. So I can go back to my test file. That should really contain 35 and type check git s git fix make bug with discards. Sure. Works for me. Okay, so we have very simple type checking for a very small subset of Porth. Literally just numbers and printing. We haven't interpreted anything yet either, so. Yeah, I'm curious now how print is actually implemented, because he got rid of the simulator, the simulation, right? So this is, I've just got the type checker to work with and the code generator. Right, I assume Porth sim is no longer supported. Yeah. There's no simulator. So I'd have to go look at his old series on YouTube here. No, for sure. Or just try it, I guess. So does print just print the ASCII representation of whatever's underneath it? No, it prints the number. Okay, so it is just printing a number. So I should probably have that also be a thing we type check. Here. This, one, and it leaves nothing on the stack. Not git push. Worth this. So for shits and giggles, I might just go ahead and do the interpreter part. So at the very bottom here, I might have a program interpret. I do. Do I have a definition for it? I do not. So after we destroy programs, implement an interpreter. I've been going for like a half now. Wow, hour and a half now. Okay. We need an interpreter state. Typedef struct Porth interpreter state. Porth interpreter state. I need a program that we're interpreting. I need Porth values stack. And I need an instruction pointer? Question mark? Because the instruction pointer could just be within the function itself. So this is like, I probably don't even need the state actually, because I can just do that in the function. Hold on. If I just do this, we already have the program. I just need a stack of values. So then int64 instruction pointer is 0. While true, IP is less than program dot instructions count. We're going to IP++ all the time probably. So let me do Porth instruction. Instruction is program instructions items sub IP. Simple as. Now, this is not technically correct. I need a main function eventually. So put that in there. So when we get functions implemented, we're going to start the instruction pointer at main instead. So decode this and then switch on it. Switch instruction dot type. Default, we can printf standard error. The instruction kind. Fetch. Unimplemented instruction kind in interpreter, and now we want to case instruction push int is the first one. So we're going to say Porth vector append push vector of push stack into the stack. We want Laye, not Laye, that's my other language. Porth value dot data type is data type int dot integer value is instruction operand. Okay. So then we have add. No, we have intrinsic. Then we switch on Porth intrinsic of inst operand. Then we say case intrinsic add plus intrinsic plus. We want to Porth value is Porth vector pop. And on the left-hand side is this. And then we can push a new int. And instead of this, it's going to be LHS dot integer value integer value plus right, yes, integer value. And then case Porth intrinsic print. We're just going to do value printf to standard error. Well, I guess it wants to get a standard out, so that's fine. Mod ld value dot should be a new one. So still works, no compiler errors. Compiler errors. 45 enumeration value is not handled here, so we want to do exactly the same thing for intrinsic. Okay, unused variable expected. Oh, interesting. Unused function. That's wrong. Yep. This is this unused function warning. So then, fuck it. Before we do anything else, Porth interpret program. Just do the thing. Leak. We printed 69 though, so leak. We allocated memory in program interpret that we have to free. Okay, so Porth vector destroy the stack. Yep. So unused function, that's a new one. There. Fantastic. That's what we want. Even better. So we've got a type checker and we've got an interpreter, which is not too shabby. Almost 9 o'clock. I probably shouldn't keep going, so I gotta sleep tonight. So I'll stop there. We've got the very, very basics of Porth running in an interpreter. We haven't compiled it yet. It's technically trivial to do so if I wanted to, but I don't want to right now. Sleep is good, so I'm going to sleep. Thanks for joining me. I've already showed you where you want to go if you want to look at the project here. You can check the description also for the Discord server, any of my other projects. I'll probably be streaming more of this alongside my other 2 compiler projects. Wow, 3 compiler projects. Oh my god. I might actually do it as videos then instead of streaming more of it. Maybe that's fine. I don't know. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go get ready for bed. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.